All right, today we are reading The Terracotta Warriors, an Army for the Dead. Many rulers have wanted to be remembered after their deaths. Egyptian pharaohs built pyramids. These pyramids were tombs for their bodies and warehouses for their treasures. The first emperor of the Qin dynasty in China chose a different kind of memorial for himself. Workers began construction on the tomb of Qin Shi Huang in 246 BC. Historians have concluded that his tomb was to be big enough for the emperor and a large storehouse of the treasure he had collected. The inside of the tomb was to look like the universe. The ceiling was set with pearls and other jewels to represent the stars and the planets. The bodies of water on Earth were made of mercury. You may have seen this flowing liquid silver element in a thermometer. The actual tomb has not been entered, but scientists have, however, discovered evidence of high levels of mercury in the soil nearby. This has led them to believe that the stories of the lavish tomb are true. The Qin emperor chose a very unusual way to protect his tomb. He wanted his army to surround him, even in death. Craftsmen created life size soldiers, horses, and chariots that were buried around the tomb. These figures were made of terracotta. Terracotta means baked earth. Red clay is formed into an object and then put into an oven or kiln to bake slowly. Once the object has been baked, a lacquer is applied to give it a shiny, hard finish. Perhaps you've seen a terracotta flower pot or terracotta tiles on the roof of a house. Terracotta is fragile. It can chip easily when in the sun for too long. An entire army of terracotta soldiers was created for the tomb of the emperor. Farmers found the first of the soldiers while drilling for water in March of 1974. Archaeologists were excited to find the first statues in amazingly good shape. After all, they'd been buried for over 2,000 years. What they were able to find in the next few years of excavation was more than scientists could have ever dreamed. So far, 8,099 terracotta soldiers have been unearthed. The terracotta soldiers were not mass produced. Each statue has a different face, a different hair length, a different type of uniform. There are infantry soldiers, cavalry soldiers, officers, and archers. Each statue carries a weapon. Some have spears, some have swords, and some have crossbows. The weapons are real. It's believed that they were used in actual battle. Most of them can date back to 228 BC. Chariots and horses were also created for this army. 4 separate pits were dug to house the statues. The figures were placed in the same position as if they had been held in a real army. There were 6,000 figures found in the largest pit. Here you'd find the infantrymen, chariots, and horses. These figures represented the main parts of the army. The second largest pit, held statues of cavalry and infantry soldiers with chariots. It's believed that these 1,400 statues represented the emperor's personal guard. The third pit contained the officers. It also had a large chariot drawn by 4 horses. There were only 68 figures in this pit. The fourth pit was empty. It is believed that the emperor wished to be able to show what great power he had on earth when he entered life after death. Evidence has uncovered that a fire was started in the tomb approximately 5 years after the death of the first emperor. History points to an army general as the one who ordered the fires. Although the fires kept burning for over 3 months, much of the terracotta army survived. The same can't be said for the treasure the emperor had buried with him. It disappeared with that general and his army. Nearly 2 million people a year visit the site where the terracotta army was unearthed. Excavations are still being conducted. Perhaps someday the entire site will be open. Emperor Qin wanted to be remembered. His terracotta army has been standing memorial to him for over 2,000 years.